أسعد الله مساءكم حضورنا الكريم، ضيوفنا الكرام المشاهدين من خلف الشاشات. تعيش الفروسية في دولة الإمارات أوقاتا استثنائية امتدت منذ الأسبوع الماضي الذي قرعت فيه أجراس أولى منافسات مهرجان أبو ظبي الأول للفروسية، والذي سيمتد إلى مارس 2023 هنا على أرضية ميدان منتجع الفرسان الرياضي الدولي بالعاصمة الحبيبة أبو ظبي. فرساننا الأبطال القادمين من 35 دولة. دولة الإمارات ترحب بكم في النسخة 12 من كأس صاحب السمو رئيس الدولة لقفز الحواجز من فئة ال5 نجوم للعام 2023 عام 2010. وهذا الكأس يشكل ساحة مفتوحة للإبداع، حدث رياضي يثقل كفة الموسم المحلي بتصنيفه الرفيع ومنافساته الأقوى في المنطقة بأسماء تعرفها السجلات جيدا، مرتبة تعتليها المنتخبات قبل اعتلاء منصة نهائيات كأس الأمم. نرحب بكم في شوط الجائزة الكبرى المقدم من لونجين. تفخر لونجين كونها شريك ومؤقت رسمي والساعة الرسمية لبطولة كأس رئيس الدولة لقفز الحواجز وتأهيليات كأس الأمم. تواصل لونجين علاقاتها مع مجتمع الفروسية باعتبارها الشريك الرسمي لاتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق، حيث يعود هذا الشغف برياضة الفروسية إلى عام 1878 الذي دفع بالعلامة التجارية للمشاركة في أهم الأنشطة والبطولات في جميع أنحاء العالم. حضورنا الكريم، ستشهد البطولة كشف الستار عن الساعة الرسمية، وهي نموذج لساعات أطوار القمر من مجموعة ذا لونجينز ماستر كوليكشن. هذا الطراز النسائي الجريء والمتطور تقنيا يقدم التوازن المثالي بين الأناقة الكلاسيكية والأداء الفائق للمهتمين بصناعة الساعات الراقية. 32 فارس وفارسة من 16 دولة يتنافسون على حواجز يبلغ ارتفاعها 160 سنتيمترا، حواجز تعانق النجوم. تتقلد النجوم بتصنيف ال5 نجوم. يبدأ شوطنا القادم، شوط الجائزة الكبرى من كأس رئيس الدولة المقدم من لونجين. أرحب بزميلي السيد نيكولاس. Good afternoon, Nicholas.
Mariam, a very good afternoon. It is the feature class of this Friday of the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup presented by Longines. A total of €152,500 is on offer, and also the President's Cup presented by Longines. It is the 12th edition of this famous trophy here in Abu Dhabi. The winner this afternoon will win €38,125. One of the best fields that we've ever seen, with Olympic medalists, with European and world champions within the field. And it is all about jumping, powerful jumping. We'll take you through the course in a few moments' time, the wonderful course designed by Uliana Vetsani. But a very special rule. It is a competition over 2 rounds, with the best 25% going through to the second round. The best score from this first round will go last in the second round. At the moment, with 32 starters, there are 8, a maximum of 8 going through to the second round. If numbers drop out, then the number of qualifiers may decrease. They go in reverse order of merit. If they have a fence down in the first round, then they will carry that through to the second round against the clock. And the time and the cumulative score over the 2 rounds will decide who the winner of the President's Cup 2023 is. And our very, very grateful thanks indeed to our presenting partner. It is to Longines, the official timekeeper and the official watch of the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Abu Dhabi. Welcome to the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. It is the five-star Grand Prix here at this Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup meeting. Nations Cup on Sunday, the 152,500 euros prize fund, though, this afternoon in the most prestigious class of the season here. And what a lineup that has assembled, from Abdul Saeed first to go to big names from Europe such as Billy Toomey and last year's winner Shane Breen. Of course, in the mix as well, some fabulous names from both the home country and the local region, from the Hampshire brothers through to the likes of team bronze medalist from London, Ramzi Al-Dahami. The likes of the young stars, Osama Al-Zabibi, taking on British names such as Joe Whittaker, who rides, and William Funnell. Christas Nereniks, no stranger to this part of the world, and already the winner of the qualifier. Donald Whittaker and Tim Gredley also in there for Great Britain, but Germany's Nicola Pohl, and a winner already today, Rodrigo Cristier Almeida. The last to go is the man from Italy, the world number 32. It is Manuele Guardiano and his wonderful ride at Chalu, another combination that have already proved to be in fabulous form. The course designer is the magnificent maestro from Italy, Giuliano Vezzani, who's here setting this challenge, which will ultimately decide who takes home 38,125 euros. The 16 jumping efforts, 13 numbered obstacles, has a time allowed rounded at 80 seconds there. And let's have a little look down on the arena floor here in this Al Fassan Arena at the International Sports Resort. 1 to 2, of course, jumping 1.60 meter. Round they come, a big old wall there at fence number 3. Very quickly we hop round this course, 4 and 5. The distance down there, 5, maybe 6 strides from 6 to 7. The combination is 1 stride, 2 strides. Round to this 4-strided distance. Then back we go to 11A and B. It's a single stride before we come down that final line to the finish towards home over the Longines planks at number 13. It is a fabulous test of both horse and rider, and really using every corner and every length of this magnificent facility. Delighted to have show jumper Amelia Baring alongside me, based here, of course, in Dubai. We're excited for this, aren't we?
Yes, thank you so much for having me again. It's a pleasure to be here, and the show jumping has been fantastic already today. And you look at the field, and I think we're in for a treat today.
Well, it certainly is a stellar cast, and this is a competition that first was run in 2010. After a short pause, it then continued from 2013 right the way through, and with this the 12th edition this year. Some great names have put their name on the trophy. In fact, we have 2 former winners in the field here today. Shane Breen with his defending championship ride, Z7 Ipswich. Also, a former winner was Ramzi Al-Dahami, who won it in 2018 with Ted. You can think of the likes of Philip Weishout has won this, Italy's Palabanini, and the likes of Belgium's Gus Lancic. Also, UAE winner. The UAE win coming from Sheikha Latita Al Maktoum when she won it on Pinos de Beaufort back in 2015. Who will come out on top this year? It is a 2-round competition. 25% will qualify to go forward into the second round, and 25% only. Currently, with the 32 starters, that is a number of 8. So therefore, only 8 places, irrespective of clears, and that really does make it a 2-round competition where you have to think very, very carefully as to how things unfold in that opening round. You come back in reverse order of merit, you'll carry faults, we understand that part. But that first round, it's not only, Amelia, that concentration of the clear, the concentration of the round, you've got that extra little sort of thing you've got to be thinking about.
Yeah, there's a bit more added pressure in terms of how quick you want to get around this course, and I think the first few to go are a little bit disadvantaged because, you know, they don't have anything to gauge against, but I suppose they have to get round clear and as quick as they can. But I mean, what a great pathfinder with Abdul Saeed to go first.
It will be. It's a fabulous, fabulous facility. You can see in the background there the Marriott Hotel here, part of this amazing sports resort. We're in the middle week of 3 of equestrian excellence here at this Abu Dhabi Equestrian Festival, with the Al Shira International Horse Show last week and the FBMA Ladies Classic that will take place here next week. But this when it comes to the season, we cannot understate the importance. This is the big one.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly the one that these top riders will be aiming their horses for. They've prepared, they've tactically had their horses go around certain rounds, whether they're saving them or whether they're getting them just in a peak way, just for this class.
Well, let's get underway. Welcome along for the ride. It's time to start this, the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. 2 rounds, and the first in round 1 is Belgium's opening combination. And a man that is, well, always, it seems, in fabulous form. Abdul Saeed. He's chosen to ride Prix de Rui, the 13-year-old mare that was a big winner here just a week ago, less than a week ago. Last Sunday, they won the big class on the Sunday before the Grand Prix. Rode a different horse that night called Bon Ami, and I think was setting this wonderful mare up for today, keeping her relatively fresh, relatively ready. He's somebody that will have spent a lot of time planning out just how things are going to go. And the horses that he's got with him looking absolutely fabulous. Julia Elrank, the groom, certainly like them all, has been working very, very hard. So we get this opening chance to see how the jigsaw puzzle starts to fit together with Prix de Rui and Abdul Saeed. Now this wall that they're going to come back to is the first time it's ever been used, the Federation fence.
Yeah, and I think Harpedge is fine with the wall there, but it's very intimidating when you walk up there. There's actually no wings to the wall, so there's nothing really keeping the horses straight in the middle. Very intimidating, but we would hope these horses can tackle the wall with ease.
Yeah, I counted him on the 7 down there, which he kept it short. But he's had that fence down coming out of the combination. Again, that combination as well, brand new today. They've held it back. It's a brand new fence nobody had seen.
Yeah, it's very interesting course building when you're saving the fences. The horses don't get a chance to look at these before. It just adds that extra element of uncertainty and pressure.
A little hopper 3 to finish, and finish he does on a final time of 76.57, but he does finish on a score of 4. It is that final part of the combination that goes down. It, as was described to me by Ramsey Al-Dahami when he finished walking the course, he said, it is big but fair. So it starts on a score of 4. Whether that's enough to see him into the second round, there's a long old wait for Abdul Saeed. Next to go, it's going to be Trevor Breen for Ireland. Trevor, of course, part of the occasion here 12 months ago when he was on the winning Irish team. The Nations Cup, I'm sure he'll be part of again come Sunday here, the opening Longines FEI Nations Cup round. But it really was a launch pad for a amazing season in 2022. He jumped, including the final, on 7 different Irish teams that year. And this is Maddie Hall's Jermaine W., the 12-year-old mare by Eldorado. Of course, brother Shane winning this title 12 months ago. Now that's quite a narrow fence, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not much time actually when you get to that fence around the corner, and it's, you know, the big Love Heart wings, they actually can take the horse's concentration off the poles themselves. So it's quite an intimidating fence.
Unfortunately for Trevor as well, he's had the first part of the combination down. I just wonder how close to the time allowed he's going to get. He's kept his rhythm relatively steady. 80 seconds is the time. I think he's okay. He is. Oh, the last has gone. The plank has fallen. It is a total of 12. But a relatively sort of steady rhythm from Trevor to ensure that he kept balanced. But sadly, he has a total of 12 for Ireland's first in this class. Ireland with a strong lineup, but there's so many different nations, from Ireland, from Belgium, to the likes of the United Arab Emirates, Austria, Syria, Portugal. It could go on and on and on. This, though, is the first of the riders for the United Arab Emirates. The last winner came with Sheikh Latif Al Maktoum back in 2015. Ali Kaflan Al Johari, the gelding Al-Qatiya du Fort, is his ride. Plenty of support here today for the riders from the United Arab Emirates. This is a man as well, if I'm correct in saying, he started off in the world of endurance and then has transferred and stepped up to 5-star even in the most remarkable time. And that's quite a change of disciplines, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But I mean, endurance is very much heavily ingrained in the culture here in the UAE. I think a lot of riders actually start out in endurance or even in camel racing, and actually they're all fantastic riders for it.
This man rose to the top, including a World Championship endurance. Oh dear!
You could just see there he came down on the 6 and just didn't quite reach the back bar, and we saw the rider previously go down on the 7, so it's definitely a decision early on that you need to make as to whether you wait for the 7 or you keep moving early on the 6.
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting to see how that distance was. He's in fact decided to retire, and you quite often see that, don't you, in a combination. Once you've got stuck, it's not really the fence that you want to have to restart again at.
No, it's not really fun to have to turn around and come straight into a combination after a horse has had a problem in the middle. It's not the easiest fence to come to. Sometimes it's a better decision just to regroup and practice again at home.
Well, there's plenty of applause going on, plenty of support going on for this man next out. It is the first of the riders for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is Abdullah Nambara Al-Hajri riding Bravo, the experienced gelding by Nameless R. He's himself been in fabulous form in Riyadh. Of course, they've had a really big run of shows in Riyadh. This combination actually won the 3-star Grand Prix. I know they had a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star, and he actually won with his other horse, his new ride, Babaloo, the World Cup, the 5-star round as well. So really is full of confidence at the moment. He's saving Babaloo for Sunday, but still able to bring out this really experienced 17-year-old gelding by Nameless R.
And it's interesting, Gareth, to see a second horse in a row with one of these masks on. It's a lot more popular now for horses to wear these masks, and it seems to provide a lot of comfort for some horses that are a little bit more nervous. When I was looking at the course earlier, I was speaking to Sarah Armuti's father, Hussein, and they were saying they've just tried a mask on one of her horses. Made a huge difference.
The sport constantly evolves. It's gone on the 6.
Fantastic.
Tiny rub coming out, but as you say, fantastically done. To be a little bit careful. You can hear him just trying to steady the horse a little. Oh, And I think that was what he was getting more and more afraid of coming round into that final line, Amelia.
Yeah, you could see it was coming. He was trying everything. He was using his body, he was using his voice. Yeah, just getting a little bit strong towards the end.
Well, still we wait for that opening clear, and Abdul Saeed with the best of the round so far, but Abdullah and Badar Haji coming close, and you can see, you know, the disappointment is quite obvious. One of those frustrating moments, like you say, we could see it, he could feel it more than anything else, and realistically he just sort of ran out of options in what he could do, you know, short of maybe over-checking, and then you stop the horse. Next to go, it's Loli Minateo for Greece, the young jockey that made such a big impression with this horse in Risenbeck, the Europeans in 2021, of course, with her other top ride, went so very well at the World Championships in Herning this year. But this is the stallion, Levi de Muse, the stallion by Elvis Duput. She, with this ride at the Europeans, of course, finished 12th individually. And she spent last year jumping on the global tour as well, and has really benefited over the last couple of years with a lot of big class experience. Six goes. It's the first time we've seen that fall with the mosques beside the water tray. Liano Vasani has given them so much to think about this afternoon. It is 2 down and a score of 8.75.80. Fastest of the times we've seen so far, but that's unhelpful when it is on a score of 8. Nevertheless, you just never know with the way the 2-round rule works who and how will find their way in to that next round. But that looked quite an innocuous fence to have down, really.
That's very frustrating to have that water tray fence down, because the way that it came down the combination afterwards, it was it jumped in fantastic. Very frustrating.
Plenty of support once again right beside us here in our own commentary box. You can hear them clapping. It is Abdullah Hamed Al Mari riding Chakalu, the 14-year-old gelding. This is the second of the day for the United Arab Emirates. A hugely experienced rider. He competed both in Leipzig at the World Cup final this year and also in 2019. He's played a real role for teams over the years as well for the United Arab Emirates. Perhaps with one or two of the big names saving horses for Sunday, this perhaps gives us and demonstrates one of the better chances, Amelia, for the UAE today.
Yes, for sure. It's interesting how different riders have different approaches, and I was speaking to a few riders in the break earlier who have made the decision to rest their horse today and tomorrow before the Nations Cup, and this would be a very good chance.
Lucky on the in, not so lucky in the middle, and then he's had to run out. Oh. Well, of course, the complications of a combination. When you have a problem on the way in, it can only get worse. And then when you get yourself into a real model, it can absolutely bring you around to a grinding halt. And he's going to continue though. He's not quite done yet. 6 seconds will be added in for the rebuild.
That was a really good show of Abdullah's resolve there, to be able to come into a combination and ride so quietly but so effectively after they had that problem. I think that's a show of a top rider.
Coming round then into the final sweeping line of fences that starts with this Longines double. And then you begin this left-hand curve. Parallel, 1.60 m wide, and yeah, how has he managed that? How has he done it? It, of course, it's not false, because it is not the top element.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I think I've seen it once before, but it is something quite rare, and whether that's what we'll get the replay on, we're going to go here, but we'll go to the combination. But it is one of those really rare moments, and I'm never quite sure how it happens. You would need a slow-mo replay to work it out. We know what happened in the combination, but it's not his day. As it stands, it's 24 for Abdullah Hamid Omari. He'll be hoping for more on Sunday. Now, Ireland. He's a man that has never made the journey here to the United Arab Emirates until this year with horses. He'd been here himself, but not with the team that he has brought with him. This is Billy Toomey. He had a brilliant second place in the World Cup round here on Sunday night, the 4-star. He, of course, is a former winner of the likes of the IJRC World Top 10. His ride today is the 15-year-old stallion by Casal. This is Chatbot ED, owned by Billy. And alongside that, of course, Sue Davis. We heard the news myself today, of course, that sadly Sue passed away last week, and our thoughts, condolences and love to her family, to her friends, and to those so close to her. And I know an owner of Billy's for over 20 years. This will be an important round for everybody today. There's no let up in this course. Time just ticking on a little, 80 seconds is getting closer, but we've got the opening clear. Billy Toomey, one of the very best in the business, produces the best we've seen so far. He is a superb jockey, and what a wonderful horse that is. And I'm sure that is a round that will mean a huge amount to him and to many others around as well. But that was beautiful to watch, Emilio.
Yeah, that's fantastic, especially with the sentiment. I think that's a very, very important day for everyone involved.
Tremendous, and that is exactly what it meant to Billy. Every round, every rider, every horse carries a story. Some
FEI World Championships in Henning in Denmark
special
last year.
than others, but each their own personal journey.
Austria.
الفارسة التالية من النمسا مثلت النمسا في بطولة كأس العالم الموسم الماضي.
Well, let's enjoy this round from Bianca Babinets. This is a lady that went to the World Championships with this ride to Herning earlier, I should say, last year. The Austrian team. Austria, of course, bringing a team as well here this week. Bianca, who acts as her own groom as well this week. It is a combination that have had some very good results. They jumped very well here last week. They've already shown good form this year. They were on Nations Cups last year in the likes of St. Gallen and Prague. It's a Capier d'Or. part going down. Beginning to really show just how tough it is. And Bianca there on a final score of 8. Therefore, 77-71 moves into 4th place. At the moment, the clear, the 4, Billy Toomey, Abdul Saeed. Then you go on to 3 riders on an 8-fault score. As we look for the best 8 as it currently stands to go forward into that next round. Never know, we might get a fast 8-faulter.
Never know. That's the thing with this kind of class, it's very exciting, it changes all the time.
Well, as we said, Billy Toomey, the 1 and only 0 score, his time 77.99. I'm sure Billy's groom, Anna Kesselova, is over the moon, and as will Billy be as well. Now, though, we move this to the Kingdom of Bahrain, to Khaled Al-Khatatri, riding HBR Atlantique Royale. It's an 11-year-old stallion, the man that rode at the World Games in Trine in 2018. He's ridden at Asian Games, been busy on the World Cup circuit here in the UAE, including last week here at Al Fassan and jumping in Al Ain and in Abu Dhabi. The wall hasn't really caused any sort of issues, has it?
No, it's strange as a, walking up there yourself, you look at it and it's actually quite intimidating, but the horses don't seem to be bothered.
But that has those hearts, as you say, almost distracting the horse's eyes. They come to the narrow point.
Yeah, it's a shame that it had the front rail of that Oxer, because actually this horse is really, really jumping. It's really making an effort over these fences.
I'll be interested in how he gets on with the time, because Khaled jumped really well last week, but it was the time he kept running into. And I sort of get that suspicion that he might again run it a little bit closer than he needed to or wants to, and he's just had the parts of the Longines double down, which maybe comes from the fact that he is just pushing on. I guess as a rider you start to feel a bit under pressure towards the end. Time is involved, just the one of them, 80.49. It's a score of 13 for Khaled Al-Khatatri there. So at the moment, nothing changing. We'll keep it where we think of clears, falls and 8s. So there's such a long way to go in this class. We have only jumped, this is what, the 10th to go. It's going to be the turn of Duret Sivro. He's made his trip for the first time here to Abu Dhabi, and what a tour, what a trip he's already started with. He was in fabulous form, double placing in the 4-star earlier today. He was a winner last week. He was 3rd in the World Cup round here last week with this horse, Dorados. And Rodrigo and groom Alex Ribeiro really are off and running to... in fact, that was Rodrigo's groom. This Duret's groom is Wiz Revio. Apologies, Wiz Revio. And they are off to a flying start. He really has made a big impression, hasn't he?
Absolutely. And that horse is flying over the first fence there. And it's interesting to see the different approaches of the riders to this wall. Some are turning inside. One part of that is the time, but possibly the other part is, less time for the horses to look at the wall, and if they're going to spook, get them there quicker. But then some riders choosing to go around.
fence this time for a different rider. And that also now going for the first time as well. That white pole at the end of the 4 strides. It was 4-star last week. There's no questioning the step change to the 5-star this week. It is a step up, and unfortunately it is 3 down and a total of 12 for Durant Zibra, the super talented Portuguese rider. A man that, though, has, as I said, made such a big impression since his arrival here, but I feel on 12 today it's too far of a stretch to hope that he can get through to that second round.
Represented Syria at 11 championships, including the London 2012 Olympic Games. They were second in the World Cup of Ahmed.
The 1 on 4.
Ahmed Sabahamcho.
Next up, it's the turn of Syria. Their first chance is with Ahmed Sabahamcho. Frenchy VDS, a ride that he's had now for just over the last 12 months. The mare by Korneda Blensky, for a rider that was on the team in the London 2012 Olympics. He rode at World Games. He was a team gold medalist at the Mediterranean Games last year. This ride jumped clear in the World Cup round here last week. Was also second in the World Cup in Alain. He's certainly been in fabulous form. His groom, Tiara Norashlavova, and he bringing that combination together. Ooh, early fence going down this time. He almost did look like he was running a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a running distance from 1 to 2, and you know it's a very big oxen number 2. They're quite a wide. It's quite a wide fence as well, so they just didn't reach it. Again, just a little bit the same to the pink. I think they're deciding to call it a day.
It's a combination that really haven't got a huge amount to prove. It's a horse that's jumped to 5-star on numerous occasions. Just today it wasn't working out, so they retire, which is a shame. So we lose the combination there for Syria. There are 2 other Syrian riders, including Ahmed's brother, Emre, to come a little later. Next to go, it's the defending champions. Of course, this is Shane Breen. Shane and his and Team Z7 Ipswich, a horse that's not only won this title before, it's won the likes of the Grand Prix in Dublin, it's won the likes of the Monaco Grand Prix on the Global Champions Tour. Already, these two being in tremendous form. Jumped so well here in the qualifier, they jumped well here last week. Ellen Peters, the groom for Shane, has certainly been playing her role. It really has. So now, all eyes on 1-0 score so far. That coming from an Irish rider in Billy Toomey. Can these two repeat the form from 12 months ago? The pressure, I guess, this year, Amelia, is that little bit more?
I don't think Shane feels any pressure, does he?
Not if you talk to him, he doesn't seem no.
Cool as a cucumber, and I'm sure that's exactly how he's feeling going around this course. And you know, this horse is an absolute weapon. So, you know, it's a new day, it's a new year. I think he's just as hungry as ever.
Wow, first part down, and that means he now has to be even more careful.
Yeah, I think he's decided to call it a day there.
What a shame. The winner from last year means it's not going to be a double. Ireland's still in with a chance, but Shane Breen's chance is gone. He's in fact put forward Quick Start Quebec, his Grand Prix winner from Birmingham, to ride in that Nations Cup on Sunday. I'm still waiting for the confirmed selections to come through from Michael Blake, but I know that's the ride that Shane's hoping to put onto the team. Now to another former winner, 2018 on TED, Ramzi Al Dahami. This is Manala Selasila, the mayor for the tremendous talent from Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ramzi Al Dahami, team bronze medalist in London 2012, a individual and team gold medalist at Asian Games. He really has a mercurial way with riding his horses.
So interesting to see how all the different riders are tackling that distance down to the combination. Some of them are coming on the more forward one, and the horses may be getting a little bit flat. Some others are, waiting and shortening, and then they're not reaching the back bar. Every horse is different. Every rider has their own tactics, but unfortunately, it wasn't working out there for Ramzi.
Well, they finish on the 12, and Ramzi getting home, 76.65, puts himself into 6th place as it currently stands. And that's 2 former winners in a row, both having difficulties, and perhaps that's opening the door this year to somebody different. We will see. We will see what happens a little later on. But at the moment, Ramzi there on the 12, Billy Toomey on the 0 score, Abdul Saeed on the 4, Loli Milanateo, Bianca Babanitz and Abdularam Bada Al-Hadri on a score of 8. And then you have 3 on 12, Ramzi Al Dahami, Duret Sibra and Trevor Bream. But bad luck there to Ramzi, to his team of Luca Fiera, his groom, and Pani. Next up, another man that has just been in the most electric of form, David Will. The last German rider to win this was 2019, was Philip Weishaupt. This, my Prince van der Dopplerheide, 2 horses in the qualifier last night, both in the top 5. He won the 2-star Grand Prix here last week. David had a brilliant run in Saudi. He and groom Kelsey Jandura certainly making a fabulous partnership with the horses, bringing it all together. He seems to have such a special record when he's here. He's a rider that wins all over, but he loves it here in Abu Dhabi, and today he's had a fence down. What a shame.
Oh, and now he's trying a little inside turn just to try and keep the pressure up.
That was quick thinking. That
Very
was
quick.
quick thinking. And that's the sort of option that Iliano's put into this course, and that is why they've got the upright going in. 74.06, no one's quicker. It puts him second. He's a good second and a half, if not more, 2 seconds faster than Abdul Saeed, and that will be that term, won't it?
Yeah, that was very quick thinking, very, very quick thinking, and that's where this class is very tactical, and you've got to be changing your plan and having your different options depending on how the round goes.
Well, the only unfortunate part for David is he does have to carry the faults forward, but a lot can happen in another round. Ireland still with the only 0 score from Billy. Now Jessica Burke for Ireland, who is another that's made such a big impression since she arrived here a week ago. Her team of horses looking exquisite. Winners last week, placed in so many other classes. She was top 5 of the World Cup round. Elia Phillips, her groom, alongside Jessica with the horses. It's all just come together. This is a 13-year-old gelding by Future Trend. It's called Express Trend. She had some Nations Cup outings at the start of, well, in the middle of last year. And she'll certainly be another that's very much, well, she's within the 5, whether she makes it to the 4. Michael Blake almost with a degree of luxury in his choices, but today, if I remember last year, that fence caused similar sorts of issues to Love Hearts for exactly what you're saying. It's the way those wings are so big, but today the combination causing us many problems.
Yeah, there's challenges all the way around this course. I think she'll probably, she looks like she might start again, or she might jump a fence before she comes out.
Well, in fact, she's leaving it alone, isn't she? She's coming down to fence 2 again. Yep, so Express Trend, she's got Nike as well here alongside Impulse, and today retiring as Express Trend stepping up, but that is a retirement. So I just wondered now, a fast 8 faults, we're halfway through. You know, that at the moment is Lily Milner-Toe. She's still got to carry the 8 fault, but they might get in yet.
Yeah, 8 faults is not looking too shabby at the moment, is it?
This is the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup presented by Longines.
Just having a little look at the replay here.
So now it is the turn of Austria. Had a really good tour in Morocco. They were 3rd in London. Excel.
Just couldn't quite find the stride pattern that they were needing, and the horse said no. Now Austria, 2 in a row for Austria. The ride first. Here's Christophe Aubernaz. Christophe making the trip here especially for this week to be part of the Austrian team. Of course, he rode at the Olympics back in 2004. He rode at the World Championships this year, as well as other Nations Cup outings. Cleon's Renegade, the 10-year-old, his championship ride, and I'm sure his team ride as well, come Sunday.
Oh, it must be so frustrating to go through the combination beautifully like that and have the water tray fence before it. That's a real shame.
Oh, unfortunately, another fence going down. Keeps
finish on 12 inside that
biting
time.
this course. 12 it is. It is 12 for Christophe Aubernaz.
7th place.
There as he goes into the top 8. He is in 7th at the moment. But as much as I think is possible, maybe later for a 8 to get in. I'm not sure that we'll see a 12. So, there's still too many left to go. 16 to go in this opening round of jumping. Of this, the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. It is the Grand Prix here. 152,500 euros worth of prize money. A meeting, of course, this week that includes the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup on Sunday. Austria once more. This time is Gertrude Park, another that has had a tremendous run of form both before coming here to the UAE. Of course, he was second in that Western European League's World Cup round in Verona. He's had some brilliant results here as well since arriving, including third in the World Cup round and third last week at Al Shira. Equitron Naxal the fifth. Stallion by Balou de Rouet. Gertrude's groom, I'm sure Tanya Weisinger will be watching on. The lovely balanced stride pattern down that line. He's going to run the clock closer than I think anyone else has run it so far. He's going to get very tight to the time. In fact, a time penalty, and that is key. That changes the dynamic going into that second round. It's a brilliant round from Gertrude Park, again showing all of his skill and class. But that one penalty, Amelia, it just puts him completely out of sync now.
Absolutely. That is so undeserved. I was thinking they look a little bit steadier than the others, but, you know, look at the way that horse is jumping. It even takes quite a bit of time in the air as well because it makes so much effort, which also doesn't help the time. Very unlucky for them.
Well, he pushed. He knew he was getting down and down and down and closer to the 80 seconds, and at the end of it all, he's only 0.15 over. I guess that's a little solace to him at this moment in time. So, it means the 12 faults, there's one of them in 8th place, and then you're up into 8s and 4s. This is Alberokom Abduliev now with a Vadir, the for Uzbekistan. And this is a young man that's had a good couple of wins already here since coming to the United Arab Emirates. He certainly started last season. He is based and rides, in fact this is the championship ride of Kostas Nedenix that he's using, the gelding by Verdi, but he's a very unassuming young man, very talented young man. Be interested to see how this round continues. Front rail. It's another that's going to get a little closer than maybe they wanted, but they should be okay. And it is just that one fence that fell. He finishes on the 4. 78.62. It moves him into 5th place as it stands. And that ensures the top 8 are filled by 8s and better at the moment. So as things continue, maybe 8's not going to be enough. Maybe the 4 is. He's got a little bit of leeway now. So that's Alpera Kurmaduliev for Uzbekistan. Syrian rider Osama Zabibi. Amos to Saint Simeon. Syria. Some good riders. He's based here, correct in saying that?
Yeah, that's right. Him and his father, they both are competing together, father and son operation. And it's really good to see him in this class. He's a young rider and he's achieved a lot for his age.
Well, he is the first rider to have found a way to remove the top brick from the wall, but not the first rider to have found his way onto the front rail of the Hart fence. Is he coming? He is continuing. I think he went quite deep into the corner just to reset things a little. Learning all the time. But today he cannot go any further than he's going to go with this opening round. And persevering, he's coming into the final line. Osama's still only 22 years of age, and that's enough. Now he pulls to the side. And I suspect in a moment will raise his hand to the grand jury. He does, and officially he retires. So, which is a shame for them because they can do some good results on the right day.
Yeah, they absolutely can. You know, it's all experience, and you know this is where they are at the moment. But for sure, they're going to take this and do some things at home and work on a few parts, and they'll be back again in a winning mood.
Well, tough moments are what you bounce back from. Next to go, it's Amre Hamsho. Amre here is with his team. The Hampshire brothers both trained by Billy Toomey, who was so far the only rider to have a 0 score. Amre's groom, Khaled Al-Foda, has prepared and worked with Amre this week. Vagabond de Forets, the gelding, his ride at the World Cup final in Leipzig this year. Just pointing something out, I'm not sure what. I think somebody lost a shoe. Which might escalate. That actually might be fair to Osama. If he lost a shoe at fence 3, might well be why the horse never quite balanced up. Have you had that happen before?
Yes, it does. It does happen quite frequently, and it's the horses. Usually they can carry on, but they certainly will feel a little bit imbalanced. It definitely doesn't help.
Certainly at this level, when you're as big as the fences can go. For his brother.
Yeah, it was lovely the way they came around that corner. He just spent a little bit more time just getting a bit straighter, just getting the horse a bit more balanced and giving the horse an opportunity to actually assess the fence. Sit up. Yes, lovely through the combination.
But it is that fence under the screen, the back rail. I think we're already in a position to say, bar the first fence, I think every fence on this course has fallen down now.
Absolutely, and it's so frustrating to have one of the most innocuous fences, you know, just a pretty normal oxer come down after you've jumped that combination.
Keeps to the 4, does keep to the 4, 76.75, and that goes into 5th place. So he isn't the fastest, but he's not the slowest when it comes to those on a 4 full score. And that, at the moment, brings him into play. It certainly does. So, Billy Toomey on the 0 score. Gertrude Puck on 1. Completely out of sync. That'll be fascinating in the second round. David Ville, Abdul Saeed, Hamre Hamcho, and Abdulkarim Abdullayev on 4. And there are 2 8th, well, there are more than 2 on 8, but the 2 8th is holding on. At the moment, Loli Milinateo and Bianca Babinets. Now we look to the next to go, and this is Joe Whittaker. What a massive day it was for Joe last Sunday with Hula Hoop JR when he won the World Cup round here. It was one of the most amazing rounds and a great story. And when he simply described it, I won it with my best friend, which I think is already one of the lines of the year, because it was just the truth. It was simple truth and emotion that was pouring out of him. But as is sport, you reset and you get ready to go again. And Hula Hoop's been safe for Sunday. This is Dream Roller, the gelding by Diamond Roller. Big ask today for the British rider. Oh dear. And it's been one of the, maybe it is because of the fact it's a parallel going in. You maybe take us through a little bit. When you have the tap on the back rail, it really does put the horse off.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, ordinarily if they have the back rail, it's because they're not quite reaching the width of the oxer, and then of course the stride after is extremely long, and the horses are getting a little bit confused. Yeah, you can just see he's jumping the first fence. He's going to call it a day.
Well, Donald will come in a moment, but that was Joe. 2 Whittaker brothers out here, and they're certainly putting a mark. They round today, though not quite what he was hoping for. Bad luck, Joe, as he leaves, which is a shame after that brilliant performance from Joe. And of course he's here with Groom Alice Emsley, and what a team they've been making. But now we move on to William Funnell. Of course, he and his groom Zoe Herbert have been making a fabulous team out here for the past few years. They've been coming, I think, since 2018. As William, and the Billy Studs at Equine America, Billy Picador, 11-year-old mare. The ride did come here with him last year. He's brought Marmite out as his second horse this time, and Olga to do the 2 stars. But this is part of that fabulous home breeding program of the Billy Stud. Another of the team riders for the British team here on Sunday. Really positive, lovely balance all the way down that line. is gone. And almost too late for him to be able to make that decision to turn inside and try and chase the 4 on a time. Although Picador, not a slow horse, it doesn't seem.
No, they've kept up a very good pace the whole way round.
Oh, the last has gone though. And that 73.61, the fastest from anybody around this course. But it is a score of 8, and that at the moment means it's 7th place. It's the best of the 8s. He slots in behind the others. And it's a difficult moment for William. He'll be absolutely gutted, I'm sure, as any rider would be, when you feel that last fence go down, having already had a fence. It's going to be tough to get through from there with the way things are unfolding, but at least he was quick. So, still holding on in 8th place. The other 8 fault round, fractions slower than William, is Yoli Milanateo. Bianca Babinetz has just dropped out of the top 8. It is 8 and 8 only that will go forward, or 25% is the actual rule. Now, this, my lady that's based here in the UAE, it is Carina Hovland and Everest D. And it's her own and the family's horse, the gelding by Warren, for the Norwegian combination in this class. And this will be a big test for them here this afternoon. Familiar fences going down. The numbers add up so quickly, don't they, when the fences start to fall. So, Carina Hovland there on a final score of 32. So difficult for them as they actually got inside the time. The fence is just going down around them, so dropping to the bottom of the board. So bad luck to Norway. We're inside. Can you believe we're already inside the final 10?
No, this will be interesting to see how these final 10 do and what kind of pressure is on them.
Well, I'm not sure this man either feels pressure, because last night, not only first, he was first, they're allowed to ride 2, I should mention that at the beginning, in the qualifier. He was first and second in the Longines Grand Prix qualifier last night. Kristas Nedenix for Latvia. What a performance it was. And a man that loves coming to this part of the world, and his horses in the 5-star looking very, very strong. This is Quinter, very beautifully presented and turned out. A lot of hard work, of course, from his groom as well, Alina Adzain, the groom for Kristaps. So on paper, at least, you would have to think, when you looked at the start list, maybe for this class, that he was the favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a feat coming first and second. You know, with a field of quality riders and horses like this, he must be on cloud 9 at the moment. I think he's just taken a brick out the top of that wall.
He has, you're absolutely right. At the moment, 4's enough to get you through, you would think, but
Now he knows he has to keep it on 4.
At the moment he's keeping on a 3. What do you think of his pace? Do you think he's going to be okay? Kept a reasonable pace?
Yeah, he seems to have kept up a good pace, although he didn't go inside to the double there. Let's see what his time actually ends up.
Oh, he's landed over the last 73.59. It is the fastest 4. He goes up into 3rd, and that all but guarantees him a place in that next round. He will be back, despite the fact he'll carry the 4. And of course, now only 1/8 full round is holding on. And that is William Funnell. That final fence of Williams is about to prove very, very costly, because otherwise he'd be up there in 4th for the minute. But he's not. That's not the way it works out. Christian Nenenix goes into 3rd. Still Billy Toomey, the only 0 score. The 1 fault from Goodford Park. Then you move into the 4s. Christas Nenenix, David Ville, Abdul Saeed, Amre Hamsho, and Abdurrahman Abduliev. And the 8 of William Funnell is the other rider through at the moment. Germany, another chance. This is Nicola Pohl riding Katz de Supplice. 12 months ago she was here, having to realistically pay more of her attention on Sunday, because she jumped in her very first 5-Star Nations Cup outing here last year. Now, Nicola certainly showed last year, didn't she, just how good she is.
Yeah, she came to the UAE last year and she completely took control. She had a really, really successful season. Just another one to take the top brick out of that wall.
Isn't it strange how that wall, for the first, I don't know, 15, 16 to go, never caused a single problem, and suddenly we now know that at least 3 have slid a brick out the top.
Yeah, and that Love Heart fence is really causing issues as well.
And I think you're right with what you said earlier. The big wings perhaps just taking a little bit of the focus away with the horse's eye from the narrow centre.
Yeah, and particularly because there's not much time from the fence before, and you're also going into the VIP area. The poles are very, you know, they're pink, but they're plain, and the horse is looking at everything else but them. Just also having the first part of the double there on the way home.
Well, they finish on a final score of 16 at the end of it all. And they also 74.95, though, safely in on the time. So that was Nicola Pohl. I'm still just trying to find out if Rodrigo's coming in, because we missed Rodrigo Gustavo Almeida, but we'll see if there's any word on him in a moment or two. We'll come back to that. He's still showing on the list, but at the moment I have no word as to why he missed his slot. This a man that was also in the jump-off last night in the Grand Prix qualifier. Luis Felipe Coutoso Gonçalves de Rivera Filho, and this for Brazil. Esquil Barbosa is the groom for this man. Of course, Nicola Pohl, who we were watching a moment ago, has got Jona Besthoff here. Grooms such an important part of the team here. It really is. It's a horse, it's a rider that come in the ring, but the groom's work is as important, if not in some respects absolutely there and key, as it's the key to the operation as anything else. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. It's a team effort, but you know, the grooms are with the horses, you know, most of the time, and you know, they know how they're feeling, how they wake up in the morning, you know, and they can give a lot of intel to the riders actually.
Well, round they come. They've jumped the wall without any trouble. Confirmation, Rodrigo lost a shoe, so he's coming next. It's that strange little short stride, and it really makes you sort of... You can see it suddenly all unfold, and has he just patted the horse and decided to stop? I think he has, hasn't he? Or is he? He never dislodged the fence, the bell didn't go, he put his hand up and retired. Of course, Luis, who had a lot of very strong Nations Cup outings, including the likes of Hickstead, Dublin, Barcelona this year for the Brazilian team with his other ride, Hermes. But today, once that stop had happened, it was all over for him. We move closer and closer now towards the end of the draw, but it's Rodrigo. I was just checking it is Rodrigo before we go any further. And Rodrigo Castilla Almeida, already a winner today. What a brilliant round that was in the last class. He has been flying along. Just having a little look at the fences, and Rodrigo's groom Alex Ribeiro will be watching on. This is Imposant van der Renier, stallion by Camille Faux. Do you often find yourself, Amelia, showing horses fences? Would you be over to the pink fence with yours when you came in?
Yeah, I think that pink fence is a very important fence for them to have a look at the top of the arena. It definitely depends on, you know, the history of the horse, and you can see that he just showed the stallion there, the white vertical. Sometimes they see fences a bit differently. White's often a little bit trickier for the horses to assess and judge. But that wall was absolutely no problem.
Lovely jump over the heart fence. Brilliant Grand Prix win with this horse, and Sam Rainey was on the Nations Cup in Villamora, but today he on a score of 4. And again, that fence, that slightly innocuous fence over by the screen, goes down. Well, they did all they could to hold to the 4, but in the end it becomes 8 and 78.85. So, of course, that is not quite enough to break in to the top 8. You need, well, an 8-fault score could do it, but they'd have to be quicker than 73.61. William Funnell at the moment on the bobble as he sits there in 8th place. But that was Rodrigo Garcia Almeida. That means we are now in to what I understand to be the final 4 to go. As I've been informed that Tim Gredley and Maddox to Toxandria are not going. I think they're saving themselves after some good performances for that Nations Cup on Sunday. This is another man on that British team. He was last year when he came to the UAE for the first time. He dropped a double clear on the British team here to help them to the podium 12 months ago. It is Donald Whittaker, Luigi van der Neth, it's taken quite a bit of time, and you should be okay, but the countdown started about 30 plus seconds ago. And if he's going to do what I think he's going to do, which is come wide all the way around, he's going to run this all the way down. Where's he going to be? I mean,
Perfectly timed.
It certainly was. It was like a zero. It was absolutely, there was nothing in it.
Yep, he was getting all the time he could to start with there.
There's a wall that hasn't really stopped anybody. It's certainly brought to a stop. Donald Whittaker, Luigi van der Neth come around the corner, and I think that's what we expected it to happen once tonight, or this afternoon, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we expected more horses to be a little bit more spooked from that wall. That was an example there of a horse that just got taken by surprise.
So, Donald retiring. He knows his chance is gone. And still then, the 8. Let's remind you, we're into, I think, the 3 to go. Billy Toomey, 0, guaranteed a place. Gertrude Park, 1 full, guaranteed a place. Some 4s now guaranteed as well. Christos Nedenix is guaranteed. Davidville is guaranteed, as is Abdul Saeed, I believe, which, because there are 3 to go, that would guarantee Abdul a place. The 4s from Amre Hamsho, Abdurakum Abduliev, yet to be decided. William Funnell on the 8 certainly will be the first to drop out if anyone else improves. Katarina Romberg and Kuma next up. Another World Championship combination for the Austrians. Another multiple Nations Cup rider last year with Mannheim and Gallo. That caught her out. Just see now as well that moment in the day where the shadows begin to stretch. Won't be long before floodlights begin to take over. Now finishing on the 8, it is in on the clock, but 8 volts scored, and that is not quick enough for the 10. Still William Funnell holding on with, at the moment, the fast 8 scored. Is he going to get through? We will see, but there are still a couple left. The round that just guaranteed in was Amre Hamsho, because he now qualifies through. Abdul Karam Abduliev and William Funnell are the 2 still on the line. Celine Schillenbrut de Azevedo, Clinto TZ for Belgium. Belgium guaranteed their place with a 4 score from Abdul Saeed. A 4 fault score, irrespective of time, would put you in at the minute. A full fault score quicker than 78.62 will guarantee you a place, or obviously better. But you're never riding for full faults, are you?
Hopefully not, no.
In this sort of class, would you ever want to know, I presume riders, that it would just mess with your plan if you knew what you had to do beyond Jumper Clear?
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one. You're obviously always riding for the clear round, and that's kind of what you have to have in your game plan, but you have to have a few other options in case it doesn't go quite to plan. No problems at the wall.
Oh. Unbelievably, just that 1-0 score. 2 riders have left them up. That time penalty, the de facto difference. Of course, the permutations that it brings to that second round at the moment are fascinating, because it really is going to be about the jumping. Time will have a part to play initially. We've still got one more to go. The man with time has always played a part, but that with Celine is 12 and out of luck today. So it is Italy, last won this title back in 2017 with Piero Banini, that will be last to go. The considerations of how it all stands, we're going to get into those final 2 unless Manuele jumps a clear in that second round, and it's going to be a case of not so much looking at the clock, but actually looking at just jumping clear. As important as that is, time will become less of a factor. Well, this combination winners already last week in the Grand Prix qualifier in the 4-star. The horse is Chalou, the rider, well, number 34, I believe, the rider is Manuele Guardiano. The horse with the most unique of actions. It's a horse that's certainly looking strong since its arrival here. But every day is different. I find you get the form book and you look at this and you look at that and you can talk about it, and then they go in the ring.
Yeah,
and you just don't know, do you? No,
that's horses. All the variables. They wake up on the wrong side of bed, or so many things can change. But wow, look at the effort Chalou made there. I just can't imagine the feeling that gives Emanuele.
Certainly something he's got used to over the years. It just doesn't seem to impact on the way Chalou can jump, height, spread, whatever is put in front of this stallion by Chaco Blue. And it's played such a big part in Manuele Guardiano's career. We've got 2 clears. Well done, Manuele Guardiano, and he's the fastest of them as well. Perhaps no great surprise there, but that is it. Chalou, Manuele Guardiano, just said this is going to be a race in that round against the clock, the second round. What a way to finish the opening round, Amelia.
Wow, what a treat anyway, just to watch Chalou jumping, but it just shows how fast that rider is, because look at the time that this horse takes in the air.
The form they were in the other day marks them out as favourite. One of only 2 that will go into round 2 on a 0 score. Manuele Guardiano will be last to go. It is reverse order of merit. Billy Toomey before him was Chabot. Gerfried Puck, X1 Naxwell the 5th. Of course, that 1 fault score slightly puts them out of sync. Kostas Nerenix, David Ville, Abdul Saeed, and Amre Hamsho and Abdullam Krom Abduliev are the other riders. Unfortunately for William Funnell, he has dropped out, but the 8, the 4 fault started off, then that single penalty, and then it's into the final 2. We're about 20 minutes or so away from the start of the second round here for the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. It is the biggest prize of the year in the United Arab Emirates with 152,500 euros. It is also one of the richest as well. 5-Star Sport live with you here this afternoon. We're looking forward to it all. It is the 12th edition of the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. The riders that come forward in this second round guarantee one thing: a new name goes on the trophy this year. We'll be back very, very soon.
one-time penalty. Geoffrey Book, and that's the
Welcome along all. We are back with you. We are live with you here in Abu Dhabi ahead of the start of the second round of jumping for the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. Here is the lineup, how they go in the second round. Abdurakhim Abduliev for Uzbekistan first. Amre Hamsho, Abdul Saeed, David Will, Christas Nerenix. Concentrate on those four initially because they are coming back on a score of 4. Then Geoffrey Pup, third from last. He had the single time penalty. 2 riders on a 0, Billy Toomey, and the last in for Italy, Manuele Guadiano. One of the fastest in the world goes last in this round. And this is the course set by Giuliano Bazzani, the Italian maestro. It begins over the upright that started at 4:15. It's in reverse, you see, this time. Down that line to the big blue Abu Dhabi fence, as is in this course, and then round the corner they come. The wall, which did play its part, and boy did it play its part. The top brick is delicate, and that rollback turn is going to be crucial. On the angle, again another new number. Fence 1 from the opening round, reversed to 16 in this round, then back to what is a double. Lovely big wide sweeping turn, and then through the double what is the first 2 parts of the combination. It opens up, it comes to the right in front of the big screen, over fence 8, and then again a very long gallop to a very delicate fence at number 10, and then a left-handed swing. They're going to have to come inside to the last. It's the first part of what was the double. It is 11A as the final fence, the Longines fence, to finish. 152,500 euros. 38,125 of those will end up with the winner. There will be a new name on the trophy of the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. As a trophy, it is without question the most prestigious that there is to win here. Amelia Bowring, how exciting is this now? This is fascinating.
Yeah, this is such a fascinating class. I mean, you know, the first riders in, they know that they have to go clear, and their position is just going to change as the class goes on. And the 2 riders at the end, they're going to have to, they're going to really have to pull it out the bag as well.
Yep, so what we're going to see to start with in these 2-round competitions, you've got to remember it is a 2-rounder. It is combined faults over 2 rounds, and this run of 4s, the battle between them is to be the best placed, so that you are in the best possible position to move up the order if one of the 3 above you make a mistake, especially if it comes from a fence down from one of the top 2, because of course then time will really as well be something we'd be looking at on a tie of 4 faults. All of it will unfold. There is a brand new page in the history books being written here today at the Al Fassan International Sports Resort. This 5-star event, part of the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup meeting, the Nations Cup on Sunday, is underway with the Grand Prix jump-off, the second round of the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup, presented by Longines. The first to go for Uzbekistan with Valur, Abdurakhim Abduliev, the young star, starts us off. Back to the wall. New line. First fence down, pushes him on to 8. And when you get these second round competitions, Amelia, it's a whole new course. It's different to a jump off because of the way you have to approach it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more fences, I suppose, than a jump off as well. It's a, you know, it's a full jumping round. It's a second round, and you know, in some of these competitions, they can get quite quick as well. It just depends on the tactics.
Well, 12 it is. 12 it is as an opening score with Abdurakhim Abduliev there and Valur, a super championship ride, the gelding by 30. 51.10 is the final time, but of course he now just opens the door with those fences down to the others on 4. He's given them a little bit of headway, given them a little bit of breathing room, but he's also shown them all just how tough it's going to be to go clear again or to get a clear for the first time. Now, a man that has been going so very, very well. It is Syria. Abraham Show with his wonderful, wonderful partner. This is a Vagabond de Forêts. Another on the 4. This is World Cup ride from Leipzig. This a ride that would have been around this time last year, beginning of January last year, won a World Cup round here in Abu Dhabi. Little pat. Keep it calm. The advantage will swing to the first of these riders on 4 that leaves the fences up this time round, and it will be a big, big swing, because then the pressure is applied to those to come.
Kept a lovely rhythm there from 1 to 2. That was really super smooth. Keeping a very nice tempo.
Landed out of the double in 27 seconds. The long run, the tight turn, inside, picking out his stride, jumped it, cleared it, and there we have it, 48.54. That sets it up nicely. He finishes where he started in this second round, and it puts Syria on top for the moment, early stages. But he now best placed. That was a really, really classy bit of riding.
Like you say, Gareth, that now puts the pressure on the rest of the riders on 4 faults, but also the clear round riders.
It really does. So say 48.54. A little bit of a clue comes out of the double. We know it's 27 seconds or thereabouts. Now to the man that, well, has found his way in from the opening draw. The first to go he was in that opening round with Prix de Rui. It is Abdul Said for Belgium. Belgium last won this title back in 2010. In fact, Belgium were the first winners of the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. Can they do it again? Now, with a horse that has won some major 5-star classes in its time with Abdul. Little hop and a skip. Much quicker, 24 seconds. 3 seconds faster. And look how quick he's coming across the ground down to the sailboat. Now he's turning inside, coming back towards the finish. He's still clear in the second round with 1 to jump. Lost the momentum. 42.10, 6 seconds quicker, but it counts for nothing in terms of the challenge to the top. And what have been a silky, smooth, flowing round, Amelia. That turn back into the last, look, it broke all the rhythm.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it's been built, this course. You know, it's a course where they can really get galloping and really get moving, but you've just got that delicate turn right at the end when they've given their all.
Well, Abdul Said's chance of moving to the top goes. What about this man? Still 2 riders, including this one, to come back on a score of 4, and this man has already tried the turn, because it was that sneaky little moment where he thought quickly in the opening round and turned inside, as is the same turn now in the jump off. But it is Davidville. 15 top 2 finishers when he was in Riyadh. Last week, 2 classes, 2 wins, including a 2-star Grand Prix. already a winner in the 5-star. He's absolutely flying back here in the UAE. The last German to win this, Philipp Weishaupt, back in 2019. This is my Prince van der Dopperheide and David Will for Germany. Turns so tightly. Really attacking. Again, landing in 23. He's even faster than Abdul was. Oh, he's cutting the angle even in the air. He's going to leave no stone unturned in his advance to the time and to the top. He jumps the last 41.67.
Wow, what a show David just put in. I mean, all the questions were answered and it looks super smooth and, you know, very easy for him.
Wow, and that will change the dynamic of what is to come. One, he knows that there's a very fast rider still to come on a full fault score that he needs to beat to be the best place to the fours. But that really complicates life for the 2-0 scores. The 2 clears will come back to Gerfried in the 1 fault in a bit because he's out of position. But if they have a fence down,
then they've got a motor.
They have got to be so quick. And of course, if you're going to go at that sort of speed, he was jumping angles over oxes in the air. It was just absolutely something to behold. But then again, that is how this man performed last night in the Longines Grand Prix qualifier. Christas Nedenik's first and second. It's not often you get to say that, first and second in a 5-star Grand Prix qualifier. With the 2-horse rule, they were allowed, and boy, did they make it pay. Quinter, the slightly more experienced, is here for the Grand Prix. Latvia's Olympic rider, World Championship rider. And he'll have just watched David Will. Last night, he had the edge. Will David has stole it back tonight. Not if this man has anything to say. He's a second and a half down. Hugs the wing. Runs the risk, takes the gallop down. Has a beautiful turn coming back to the last. It's very smooth. He's jumped it. 43.31 though. He's not quite fast enough. Brilliant, brilliant try, but it is around 2 seconds away. So Christas Nedenik again just showing how fast David Will has been. This, on some days, you would expect to be the best. It looked brilliant, but it just wasn't fast enough. Hard to tell where he lost the time, but he certainly lost it at the beginning more than the end.
Yeah, I mean, he started off with a very good gallop to number 1, but I think David's just so quick on those turnbacks.
So the pressure is on David Will in the respect that he now has sat there waiting and watching. This is the round that is out of kilter with the rest because the single fault means that time holds no bearing. The only time that is relevant for this round is 55 seconds. It is the time allowed. He does not need to be over it because it is Gerfried Punk for Austria. And this, Equiton Naxel the 5th, the 10-year-old stallion. It is obvious for me to say, but if he has a fence, he goes to 5. He knows that. There is nothing he can do in terms of time to battle this out. This is about jumping. And the pressure applies itself in a different way. He was only a 10th of a second over the time allowed in that opening round. It is, I guess, the final fence. The time allowed in a lot of ways. Slower, but we expect it. Oh, and it has gone, and that moves David Will up. It moves Kristaps Neredix up. It moves Amre Hamsho up. And over the last to stay on the 5. But 49.86, 5 it is. And now, in a bizarre way, it makes it even harder for those still to come. But that, a heartbreak for him.
It is. It's such a difficult position to be in, knowing, you know, you cannot afford a fence down, and they were doing a superb job, but you can see there, just caught it behind. Very unlucky.
I'm not sure either of these two can afford a fence down, because the time that David Will has put on the board is so quick that, but then again, both of these riders are so quick. They're two of the best riders in the world, trying to keep themselves ahead of another of the world's greats in David Will. But this now is solely about Billy Toomey. Second in the big class last week. First trip to the UAE with his horses, and proving what we all know, which is he is one of the Irish greats. And this, his challenge. Billy Toomey, chatbot ED. He knows he's got Manuel Guadiano to follow him. He knows if he has a fence, he's got to be quicker than David. There is only one option. He needs to go. The whistles go up. They're encouraging him to fly. If he leaves the last one up, the pressure moves away from him. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Billy Toomey jumps the double clear. Chatbot ED for Ireland leads the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. 44.81 to put himself in control of this Grand Prix competition here. Billy Toomey at his best.
Now that puts the pressure on.
Wow. What a competition this is turning into. He proves time and time again that pressure just does not seem to affect him. Billy Toomey in fabulous form, and I'm sure as well there'll be great delight from Anna Kisilova, his groom, out the back. But now, to one of those special partnerships in this sport that we know how quick they can be. On their day, unbeatable by the best, because they are one of the fastest. But now, 44.81, 3 seconds slower than David Will on the full score. There is a lot more time to be had in this course. Can this man, Manuel Guadiano, find it? He came close in this class 12 months previous. The last Italian was in 2017, Paolo Banini. Chalou with that famous style over the parallels. The almost impossible jump. Stretching out, 44.81, the time to beat. Gets tight, gets deep, comes inside. Surely he's faster, surely he's quicker, and he's jumped the last to win the president of the UAE Show Jumping Cup, the Grand Prix here at this amazing meeting in Abu Dhabi. Goes to the quite simply amazing Italian. Manuel Guadiano wins on the simply fabulous Chalou. What more can you say than Manuele being Manuele?
I mean, he didn't feel the pressure whatsoever. He just did what he does best, and he just rides his horse, clear round, super quick. What a show.
It certainly is. 42.56 to come out on top. What a performance from Manuel Guadiano. to win. Look, there we have it, 42.56 ahead of Billy Toomey, who for the second week in a row is second in the major class, which says something for his consistency and abilities. That is quite some performance. David Ville, the fastest of all the times, but that 4 faults from the opening round is ultimately what handicapped him. Kristaps Nerenics, the qualifying winner, finishes in 4th. Amre Hamsho takes 5th ahead of Gerfried Puck. The top 6 here in the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup. It has been 5-star jumping of the very top level, and superb performance from the Italian yet again, and congratulations to Manuele and to his groom Giancarlo Cardone, who of course will have played such an integral role in preparing the horses. The groom's so important to this sport. It is a trifecta. There's a huge team we know at home and in the background, but the grooms really do play on the ground at a show the absolute key role right up to that moment the horse and rider comes into the ring, and then it's over to those two. But well done to everybody. Amelia, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a tremendous afternoon of sport here, and so much more to come, including on Sunday, the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup of the United Arab Emirates. But from us here in this, the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup, the Grand Prix, once again, congratulations to Manuele Guariano.
the President's Cup champion, presented by Longines. Congratulations, Emanuela Gariano, Chalou, Italy.
نستقبل معكم حضورنا الكريم بطل كأس رئيس الدولة لموسم 2023 إيمانويل غاديانو. 31 فارس من 16 دولة تنافسوا هنا على أرضية ميدان منتجع الفرسان الرياضي الدولي للفوز بأغلى الألقاب وأكبر الألقاب، لقب كأس رئيس الدولة لقفز الحواجز للعام 2023.
Delighted to welcome His Excellency Major General Ahmed Nasser Al Raisi, the President of the United Arab Emirates Equestrian and Racing Federation, Mr. Stefan Ellenbrook, FEI Board Member and Chair of the Jumping Committee of the FEI, and Mr. Patrick Ayoun, Longines Brand Manager, Middle East.
نرحب بسعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر الريسي رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق، والسيد ستيفان أمبروش عضو مجلس إدارة الاتحاد الدولي للفروسية لجنة قفز الحواجز، والسيد باتريك عون المدير الإقليمي للعلامة التجارية في الشرق الأوسط. نرجو من الحضور الكريم الوقوف لأداء السلام الوطني لإيطاليا.
Your Excellency, honored guests, may we ask you to please stand, if you are able, for the national anthem of the winner of the President of the UAE Show Jumping Cup, presented by Longines. Emanuela Gariano, Chalou, Italy. Congratulations to Emanuela Gariano and Chalou. The President's Cup presented by Longines.
ندعو السيد باتريك عون المدير الإقليمي للعلامة التجارية في الشرق الأوسط لتقديم الجائزة لبطل كأس رئيس الدولة لقفز الحواجز للعام 2023 الفارس إيمانويل غاديانو من إيطاليا.
Patrick Ayoun, Longines Brand Manager for the Middle East, presents the Longines watch. Emanuela Gariano, Chalou, per l'Italia. And now, the President of the UAE Equestrian and Racing Federation, His Excellency Major General Ahmed Nasser Al Raisi, presents the President's Cup.
ندعو سعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر الريسي رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق لتقديم الكأس لحامل الكأس الفارس إيمانويل قديانو من إيطاليا.
And congratulating the champion this afternoon, Herr Stefan Ellenbrook, FEI board member, chair of the jumping committee of the FEI.
ندعو السيد ستيفان أمبروش عضو مجلس إدارة الاتحاد الدولي للفروسية بقفز الحواجز، والسيد سعيد المري من مجلس أبو ظبي الرياضي لأخذ صورة تذكارية مع الفارس.
The silver medalist. It's been an emotional 10 days for this man. He is quite simply one of the finest show jumpers in the world. In second place, Billy Toomey, Shutbot ED, Ireland.
الفائز بالمركز الثاني الفارس بيلي تومي من إيرلندا. ندعو سعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر الريسي رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق، والسيد باتريك عون والسيد ستيفان أمبروش لتكريم الفائز بالمركز الثاني. الفائز بالمركز الثالث الفارس ديفيد ويل من ألمانيا.
In third place, bronze, it is the man who cannot stop being in the winner's enclosure. For Germany, David Will, my Brans van Dorpehede. Congratulations, David. In fourth place, he was first and second last night in the Longines Grand Prix qualifier. He's fourth in the President's Cup. Well done indeed, Latvia's Kristaps Neretnieks Quinter.
الفائز بالمركز الرابع الفارس كريستابس نيريتنيكس من لايتيفيا. مع أجمل اللحظات، لحظات الاحتفال بالانتصار مع جولة الشرف. ندعو حامل الكأس لقيادة الفرسان في جولة الشرف.
Our very grateful thanks indeed to Stefan Ellenbrook, FEI board member, to His Excellency Major General Ahmed Nasser Al Raisi, President of the UAE Equestrian and Racing Federation, and to Mr. Patrick Ayoun, the Longines brand manager for the Middle East. Our very grateful thanks indeed to Longines, but our very grateful thanks indeed to this man. Quite brilliant, a fabulous competition. It's lap of honor time. Emanuele Gariano, Shalou!
يمر أمامكم حضورنا الكريم أبطال كأس صاحب السمو رئيس الدولة لموسم 2023 حامل الكأس من إيطاليا إيمانويل غاديانو. بيلي تومي في المركز الثاني، ديفيد ويل في المركز الثالث، كريستوف نيريتنيكس في المركز الرابع، عمر حمشو في المركز الخامس، غريفريد بو في المركز السادس. مرة أخرى يمر أمامكم حضورنا الكريم حامل كأس صاحب السمو رئيس الدولة لموسم 2023 لقفز الحواجز إيمانويل غاديانو من إيطاليا. السيد باتريك عون المدير الإقليمي للعلامة التجارية في الشرق الأوسط، والسيد ستيفان أمبروش عضو مجلس إدارة الاتحاد الدولي للفروسية بإدارة قفز الحواجز، وسعادة اللواء الدكتور أحمد ناصر الريسي رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للفروسية والسباق، لتكريمهم للفرسان الفائزين.